Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Kerno here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something a bit different. I know everyone kind of does their like weekly checklist of like what to forget, what's leaving, so on and so forth. But I wanted to try to do something, I don't know, more me than anything else. I don't want to do like the usual checklist and things of that sort. So what we're going to be doing is just going through my daily and weekly checklist whenever I log in and showing you guys how I interact with everything specifically. Instead of just telling you, hey, go look at this, go do this, go do that. I'm going to run through all of it here really quick with you guys and give you a breakdown of how I go about everything to make sure that I don't forget anything as far as getting the most that we can whenever we log into NGS. But before we jump into that, if you're new here, as always, my name is Kerno. I primarily cover PSO2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribe as we're way towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of this year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're just logging in, our usual day, nothing too crazy. And this is like literally like the start of my day. Usually I go through and take care of like my my fishing and BDO. I take care of my dailies and weathering waves, and then I jump into PSO2. Now I'm probably going to add more to that since we're going to be getting back into Genshin and things like that. So cool. We grab our daily rewards, our login rewards. Oh, and I wanted to mention in one of my videos, I talked about, some really cool stuff happening for free to play. Well, let me not tangent immediately. So yeah, we first log in. First in tech is our daily tasks. So pop into daily tasks, take a look at dailies, and we can see it is foraging for fruit today. Usually I do this, doesn't really matter when you do this, it's up to you really, but I knock out my daily trade-ins. Right now we have the Growth Mint 2 exchange going on, so I try to do that as quickly as I can so I don't forget it. Anything that's like possible for me to forget, I go ahead and knock those out immediately. So that's part of the dailies themselves. And then usually what we do is hop over to a Ryuker and sort out creative space stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to my creative space, grab my tree, and then we'll probably be jumping over. Basically, I just kind of jump over to each of the creative spaces to find out exactly which creative space is I'm sorry, to collect my my daily GP. Oh, and here's a nifty little site. It's nekobot.id. I'll leave a link in the video description to this, that way you guys can tell what it is. But essentially all the GP trees, what they have is based on your player ID. So for example, ID 8 right now. So if your player ID ends in an 8, you can see the player ID. I mean, they show kind of basic information. You can see this info here. Player ID ends in 8 right now is a rainbow tree. So if we go into game, we'll pop back over. You can see I've got a rainbow tree here. All we need to do is go over here, pop over to space, basically align or space/alliance search. Under tag, just type in GP ID and then 8. It'll give us all the different players who have a GP ID ending in 8, and we can just go to theirs. If you're just looking to grab quick rainbow trees, you don't have to worry about too much. You can just GP ID 8. Very simple, very straightforward. And search, and we get another one here. Teleport over to them. And as you can see, another rainbow tree. 2 trees, we get maxed, and we're all set to go. Just keep in mind, you still need to make sure that you hand out your 5 kudos for the day, and we'll talk about that and what I usually do for that as well. But afterwards, we hop over to our alliance. Oh, people probably saying hi. Unfortunately, I have my have myself set to streamer mode, so apologies guys if you see this. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. But yeah, head over here, grab our alliance boost for the day. Usually just do it as part of my dailies because I'll have to worry about it later. Makes things straightforward, nice and easy for me. Get that done. And then we can go ahead and pop out of here. We've taken care of our GP stuff. We've taken care of our boost. We can head back to base and take care of the next step, which is our dailies. All right, so we've loaded in. So we know for our dailies, we need to take out a couple of things. We know we got LTQ we got to do. We know we have some enemies to kill for, oh, what is it? For, I was gonna say creative space, but taking out some enemies for our, I can't remember what these are called anymore. Battle zone, whatever. I can't remember the name of what we're doing. It's just, as you guys can see, this is very early for me. I never do any talking at this point. I usually take care of all my stuff, my coffee and everything before I make any videos, but For today's video, we wanted to make sure that I brought you guys along for this. So anyway, we know what we're going to do. Let's just, it's as far as what we do in what order, it's kind of up to us. We need to go ahead and eat food. I don't think I have enough crisp meat in Alio. I think I'm actually be hurting for crisp meat here. We are good. And only Stian, we're running low, so we might need to farm some crisp meat in the near future. That's not great, but let's head over to Stia so we can go ahead and get our food buff. All right, so we can go ahead and eat food really quick. Like I said, this is not great running out. I probably could use like easier food or whatever and not worry so much about using the same food all the time. It's not a big deal, but it is what it is. Next, we're going to head over to Mount Magnus for taking out our enemies in a combat zone. That was the word I was looking for. So we're going to go ahead and feed the mag over here, since we'll be doing a Mount Magnus combat zone. So we'll go ahead and feed the mag. And then head over to Mount Magnus. I'm going to double check what our Mars is. It is not one I would use for AoE, so we're going to stop off at town really quick and head to Mount Magnus real fast. So our usual swap over for just AoE stuff is Skyla Garm. Very straightforward, very simple. Skyla kind of scares you when it comes to AoE, so we're not worried about anything else. And we have to get kills as a part of a weekly on our Mars anyway. So having our Mars set to Skyla, basically making it just so it's AoE specifically, is kind of what we're going for. We're not really worried about it for a single target nearly as much. And we can just use Garm for single target if we need to. We want to go ahead and look for a room. There are not many here. Not people like to farm this area anyway. There's not really a reason to farm Crimson Realms, in my opinion, outside of if you just need the 4 stats. So we're just going to go ahead and follow the crowd here and get our 50 kills. We want to make it a point to go ahead and set our task as well. That way we don't lose track of what we're doing or anything like that. And now we're in a PSC burst and we're just gonna spam Skyla. Because all we're concerned about is getting as many kills as we can while in Mars. Since there's a title attached to it, since we need to get kills in Mars anyway for the weekly, it's just getting kills in Mars, make life nice and simple. All we're doing is spamming Skyla. We could also use the right ability here, right? We could do this. Get that done. And then this as well. Technically, I could have canceled that and kept going back into the attack or whatever, but I kind of like the big laser. And then we just go back into spamming. And it's always when you don't really need the extra run, you get the PSC Encore. And this is an Encore Forte, so I really can't like ignore it. I gotta play it out. So I guess I'll be sitting through this Encore. All right, and I well overkilled the 50 enemies I needed to kill, but that's fine. We've taken care of that. Let's head back to Central and let's knock out the 2 instance pieces of content we need to do. Basically Leciel as well as our LTQ. And of course we make a quick swap of our Mars since we're not doing AoE stuff. And we'll go with the UQ setup. It actually works pretty well in the LTQ and I could probably make it work in the Leciel. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people don't even bother switching up their Mars just because it's like one other thing to think about and you don't really need to optimize Mars that heavily, but it is nice to have a decent Mars for whatever piece of content you're doing, and it's as quick as just changing the preset that you have. Don't have to go back anywhere in particular, don't have to do anything in particular, just open up your inventory as long as you're in town and make a quick swap. Very easy, very straightforward, very simple. I might swap it up for Leciel as well, just because how quick you can do it. You can do it while you're in queue. I do it all the time. All right, we got into our run. I guess we could go ahead and turn off. Should probably turn it off because there's anything important said. Probably should hear it, you know, right? Just a random run. So yeah, we're gonna knock out our LTQ here really quick, and then afterwards we'll do Leciel. And this is the one spot that Hydra has some usefulness in. Honestly, I should have probably started charging sooner. The quicker you can get to this charge, the faster you're ready for it as soon as the boss spawns. And that takes care of the boss and get our augment transfer fast for the day. We can just go ahead and quit out. Oh, this is what I get for not quitting out quick enough. We actually lucked out there that we caught the concert as it was finishing up. Usually, I think if you're in multi-ship anything, you don't get concert buffs because you're just like not on any ship that would have a concert. But yeah, I'm not sure if anyone has gotten concert buffs when they're multi-shipping. I've just been very careful to not be in multi-ship whenever concert goes on. So let's see what's today. Today's Mars. Okay, cool. So we are actually going to switch our Mars to more of a just combo-based Mars. And let's knock out our Leciel.
Jump by any time.
Daily Leciel is actually pretty easy to do, and there's always a chance you can get a camo to drop. So is it worth it? It's something that I would say is the most skippable on our list of things we would do daily/weekly. So up to you, really. No, we got into a run. Took a couple of minutes, but like I said, it doesn't really take too long. And these only take, I think, what, about 10, maybe 11 minutes. Correctly, I think it's like 11 minutes on the timer, and then you have like what, 2-3 minutes to kill the boss. So at most maybe like 12 minutes. You could say that's probably not worth it for you, and that's totally fine. Like I said, this is the one thing, if there's anything on my list that I would skip if I just didn't feel like, or basically I was speedrunning to doing something else, maybe a new game is out that I really want to play, or something else going on, I would probably skip over doing Leciel, just because it doesn't really have the greatest rewards. Though I think there's currently an event going on right now where Leciel has like, what is it, like reduced HP on all the enemies. So maybe that makes it worth it. So it's up to you really how you decide to go about it. I know for me personally, anytime I do Leciel, I always make it a point to go to the locked rooms. Locked rooms are double buffs. Some people do waste time, unfortunately, by trying to fight their way into the locked room that you're in. But if you're confident in your abilities of like what you're doing, Leciel's not super difficult. Especially if you're somewhat geared. Just go ahead and hit the locked rooms up, get the double buffs for everyone. Let everyone else handle all the other rooms after, you know, you take care of the locked rooms. Then there's, of course, like your priority rooms based on what type of buffs you have for the day. For example, here I'd probably go after 1 rooms first, just so I can get the battery up faster so people can use more Mars. And then afterwards I'd hit up 2 rooms, probably also 4 and 3. This is one of the ones that it's actually like pretty useful for a lot of the buffs, if not all the buffs. So yeah, probably would hit up 1 and then hit up 2 for sure. And then as many 3 and 4s as we can get. So I will say I'm not playing the best while talking because I totally forgot I had my opinion available. So we'll blast that really fast, finish off this room. And then let's head. Now, granted, like I said, the 2 rooms, 1 rooms are important, but I'm just hitting the locked rooms in general. Looks like someone is handling this, I believe. There is no one here. Okay, we'll knock out this 2 room and then we'll go from there. And just like that, we have mostly every buff, only missing, 13 seconds left. 3 room. Oh, nope, that's it. We got a full clear. With me just prioritizing those locked rooms first.
Trial start.
Pretty solid run. Unfortunately, that run, people were not attacking that weak spot to break it so we could do more damage. So that took a little longer than I'd wanted it to, but it's fine. More time to spend in Mars. No, we can go ahead and do the urgent. I'm not going to bother with it right now just because I got to get this video edited and uploaded for today. I got some other things to work on, but usually I would pivot, do an urgent if it pops up during the time frame I am online. This recording's been going on for about 35 minutes or so. I'm not sure how long the video itself is, but at this point, this is where we're going to be checking our weeklies, right? So we're taking care of most of our dailies, what we got to do there. All we have left is the foraging for fruit one, which we can grab at any point in time. Not a really big deal. Now we're going to take a look at our weeklies. So weeklies wise, we want to check a couple of things. First and foremost, are there any events going on? We know that there aren't at the moment, but if there were, we'd be checking the event shop to make sure we get those knocked out. Next we want to take a look at is making sure that we have our alliance tasks gathered and our trade-ins for alliance tasks completed. So let's pop over there really quick and talk to Tim. We'll go ahead and look here, make sure we've already done the resets. We have done these exchanges. We did these immediately. Right now it is worth grabbing, I believe it's Darkfall's triggers. Nothing else really all that important to grab. I know some people like to get a bunch of stuff. They'll get purples. They run a lot of purple, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to grab the gold Prim Sword 2s. That's totally fine, up to you. But also make sure you just have your alliance tasks if you had them beforehand. I'd recommend doing this at the beginning of the week to make sure you have them, where you're not missing anything. But getting your alliance tasks knocked out are also very important. So make sure you go ahead and grab those, get those done. Yep, Tim will try not to die. No big deal there. The other weekly we want to make sure we take care of is over here at the item trader. So with Travis, we have a couple of things we can trade for weekly. So of course we have our usual recycle badge stuff. You want to go ahead and get your alpha reactors, your star gems. These are, oh, we're not worried about these anymore. This is something that we did trade in for a lot at the first because we didn't really have a lot of use for X cubes. Now we have tons of use for X cubes, and we are actually hurting by not having enough X cubes these days. One thing I do want to normalize for a lot of people is if you're already done with rolling add-on skills for particular classes, those class cubes, unless you play that class as like a primary class, aren't really of any use to you. So I personally come in here and I knock out any class cubes that I have no need for. There are other classes that either I don't play consistently, anything along those lines, and those X cubes actually have value. So I go ahead and swap out my class cubes for other X cubes, just because, like I said, I can make use of those X cubes if I haven't been farming during that week itself. But yeah, make sure you get your alpha reactors and your star gems. Very, very important. The Genesis points are less so important in my opinion, unless you just have like you're playing a ton and you have a ton of X cubes, like you're gathering a ton of X cubes per day. It's not something that I personally would worry too much about, but to each is their own as far as that trading goes. And then of course, just go down the line. As far as what I usually exchange for, I check Arc's record, of course. We're going to talk about Arc's record here in a minute, but getting the star gems from Arc's record is actually really, really easy for everyone to be able to do, and highly recommend getting it taken care of. I don't think there's anything in the Kavaris exchange, if I remember correctly. There should be nothing that we care about. Nope. Okay, cool. Aegis Integra. I mean, it's kind of like habit at this point, but Aegis Souls always are something that are needed. They've always been something that are needed. So whether the price goes up or down, it's up to you. The Dominas aren't really useful at all anymore, but the Aegis Souls are still of value. So I grab those personally, just as I exchange those over for other augments that are useful. I've since stopped grabbing the PA customization text, just because there's like still many of these available, and if you need any extra, you can buy them off the market. They're not really worth much. This is an exchange that matters. Do your daily Growthman 2 exchanges. We talked about that earlier. Very, very important. And that's pretty much it from that exchange that I really go into. I know some people, I guess it's worth like going down to. Special scratch is nothing, but dread scale exchange, you do have these omnidiscs some people do go in exchange for. That's up to you. If you're trying to get rolls on every single tech arts in the game, it's worth doing the weekly exchange, so grab it if that's the case. Hop over to Archie, exchange Genesis crystals. If you haven't grabbed, the one thing I would always recommend if you haven't gotten it already is your master fragments. Make sure you get your master fragments. It's also kind of worth grabbing some of the resources because they're really, really inexpensive, and you can exchange a lot of resources for trading up stuff. So I personally grab these if I don't need them on another ship or anything like that, and it's literally 8,000, like it's nothing. So definitely nice to grab. If you're still in the realm of needing arms refiners, needing arms refiner 2s, needing Foundia and all that good stuff, photon chunks, if you need these things, they're here, they're available. Of course, if you're early on, if you don't have some of the LC augments you're trying to get a hold of, they're here, which is also very, very useful. And that's it mostly for the exchanges you have to worry about. Outside of that, the only other weekly thing that I take a look at is where is it? Personal, I believe. Yeah, is the Arc's record. So take a look at Arc's record, see what it is for the week. So it is Crazy Tail Solo. It's a cocoon. Just tell me where it's at. No, okay. You can always tell which cocoon it is based on like a little crown next to it. So the bottom left corner of the cocoon. So we'll just look around for the cocoon that has a crown on it. Crazy tail, crazy tail, crazy tail. Apparently I'm oh, here it is right there. Crazy tail. So looks like doing crazy tail is just fighting pangolin. Will get us our completion for the week. So let's go ahead and teleport over there and knock that out. All right, so we made it over here. And if you're doing this for Arc's record, maybe you're doing this on like an alt or something like that. I actually recommend doing this on every character that you have on separate ships, because you can gather Arc's badge, or you can either Arc's badges, record badges, whatever. You can have their badges basically on multiple ships, and you don't have to buy your star gems on the same ship as your main character. You can go to other ships and buy them. So even if you're not someone who's like clearing or trying to go for speed runs or whatever, just run the actual run. Like, it's not a big deal. If you're on your geared character, it's worth going ahead and going for max rewards. I believe there's one for max. Is it here? Yeah, here we go. For max multipliers, it's worth doing one on your main at least for max multipliers. I usually do the max multiplier on my main if it's not an annoying one. If it's an annoying one, I'll just run it normal and not really care. As long as you complete it, it's you still get the participation reward, which is still getting some Arc's record badges. So definitely worth doing. But we're gonna go ahead and knock this out on our main and see how we do. All right, and we finish that off. Not too bad. First try. And our time isn't great. It's 2:13. It's not the best, but not the worst. We got to clear in. So that's our goal, is just to get the run done. And that's pretty much all we're checking through. Outside of that, we just look through our usual weekly stuff. We check the mission pass. We check our weekly tasks. So we haven't done our Dark Fall Solace weekly, so we'll take care of that likely on stream. Nothing too crazy there. Take a look at limiteds. There's no limiteds that are really that important for you to take out or take care of. And outside of that, really, there's nothing else to really look into. We take a look at the current scratch tickets to see if there's anything going away we need to be paying attention to, which you can tell based on the available until date. We can see that the makeup revival is going away. We can see summer athletes still gonna be around. We see Alpha Summer Splash is changing up, so that's going away as well. If there's anything from there that we care about, we want to go ahead and get that taken care of. It looks like the SG support scratch is going to be sticking around for a little while longer. The refined form is going to be sticking around for a little longer. This is, of course, continuing indefinitely. This is our daily scratch we haven't even done yet, so let's get that knocked out. Nothing too crazy there. It'll be changed in for a badge, so that's cool. And then of course, the bottom is line strike and stuff like that, so none of that matters really. Nothing to worry about too much on the AC scratch front outside of the makeup revival. Outside of that, really, we just check our treasure scratch. Oop, okay, that's gotta look extraordinarily lucky. Watch it be. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. Okay. All right. You made your point. We're only going to do 3 because we aren't super high on SG at the moment. Normally when I have an excess of SG, I will usually start refreshing as well for 10 SG per. It is worth it in my opinion as someone who does want to have a good stack of 20% as well as augment protects. But those are a little less valuable nowadays since we do have augment transfer. So I don't have to go as hard into my augment protects unless I'm doing a full re-augmenting of all of my gear, which if things go the way they're supposed to, we should never really have to do again, or we shouldn't have to do for a very, very, very long time. Treasure scratch really isn't worth it. There's really nothing in here I care that much about, unless you're like collecting all the stickers. Really, like it's a decent spot to collect stickers, but it's going to cost you Meseta. And if these stickers pop up on any AC scratches, they're going to be virtually worthless as far as like cost wise. Well, actually, no, they even if they're an AC scratch, they're not going to be worth buying for the 70k that most people will sell them for. You'll turn them into badges. So I guess for collecting stickers, really that's as useful here, but that's really about it. There's not a whole lot you guys need to be paying attention to as far as what's leaving this week, but I'm going to double check the event scheduler and we'll wrap up today's video. All right, so this is how I usually end my weekly stuff. So you guys can see we've got some things that are ending this week, and of course Wednesday is the cutoff time frame. So see the Leciel exploration growth campaign is ending. Okay, weekly summer gifts is ending. Cool. Fire support weekly. Okay, and then we can see great deals in the AC shop ending. All right, cool. So those are the main things that are ending. Let's click over here and see what we've got. So I think most of these are going to link back to the same article, but it's like different sections of that article. Yeah, that's what's basically going on. Okay, cool. So we have the Bane article, and then we can just jump to the different spots that matter. So we've got the. This is very sad. I liked this. But the beta reactor and star gems every day is going to be going away, so make sure you're doing your daily exchanges for that. We also have the fabulous gifts are ending, so no fabulous gift next week. That blows. So that's a bummer, but of course if you've been collecting your fabulous gifts every week, you've been getting some star gems. That's what, 90 star gems. That's pretty nice. And of course the boost to Leciel is ending this week as well, so the enemies won't have their reduced HP, which they, now that I think about it, enemies having 30% reduced HP and that boss taking as long as it did really speaks to what happens if you don't break that little core on the side of him. Because people were just kind of like mindlessly spamming their Mars into the boss without breaking the core on the side. I feel like I was the only one aiming for it, and it made that boss take a way longer than it needed to. So, but yeah, that's also ending. And then of course you have the great deals in the AC shop is also ending, which is, does this matter? Let's double check. So 90-day fabulous set. You're getting 3 Gladiosouls. Okay, that's not bad. But they're Gladiosouls, not Gladiosol S's. That's kind of lame. Well, I mean, that's actually good because the Gladiosouls you actually can make use of by putting them in making Gladiosouls. So I guess that does kind of work out to being better, but it's only 3. Should have made it 5, honestly. A preset enhancement. Okay, so that's a guarantee level 4 on your Fixa. That might be worth picking up for that alone, honestly. It is 3k. It's $30 for it though. That's pretty expensive. I mean, you're getting premium set for 90 days. For the average player, I would say this is worth it just because you're getting premium set for 90 days. Plus this alone is worth it as a bonus, to be honest. This is nice to have. The protect coming along with it as well is nice. This is a nice bonus. This is like, you know, 3/5 of your Gladius Soul, so that's worth it. So I'd say this overall is definitely worth it. You want to make sure you pick that up if you're just an average player. For me, premium is effectively worthless, seeing as I get free premium being a creator. So like, I'm thinking to myself, am I spending 30 bucks for this? Maybe, we'll see. But the premium set 90 days, like I have premium sets stacking up at this point. So even if I ever stop being a creator for the game, I'd still have premium for a very long time. And then this here, it's 4 vouchers. That's and that's what, for $7, basically $8. You're getting rare drop rate plus 200%. It's what, an hour? Is it 24 hours? If it's an hour, that's a lot less useful. 24 hours isn't definitely worth, but I'm assuming it's an hour. You get so this is mostly for the rare drop rate. For $7 or $8, I can't say that that's absolutely worth it for you guys. Only if you're really hurting for these transfer passes, man. Like if you really want to pay to win these transfer passes, then like maybe that's what, 20 transfer passes. So like, I guess if that's what you're going for, that's fine. I mean, the rare drop rate is kind of a scam in my opinion, always, because your rare drop rate doesn't guarantee you get something. So it is what it is. But that's basically about it. That's all you really need to worry about as far as dailies and weeklies. And that's pretty much all I worry about as far as my dailies and weeklies go. Yeah, and that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know if there's anything that you guys take care of in the comments below that I may have missed. This is, I know, like just my usual, I log in, do my daily stuff, check my weeklies and roll out. It'll be a bit different. Let me know if there's something you guys actually appreciate. I'll probably start doing these for our Monday videos every Monday, every week, and go over what you guys should be paying attention to. But like if you enjoyed, something you want to keep up with more, thanks again to the channel members. You guys are fantastic and I appreciate your faces. And our question of today's video is going to be a topical one. What dailies do you find are useful for you personally? Are there any dailies that you skip? Are there any dailies that you always make sure you take care of? Myself personally, this is something that I used to do all the time, but unless I just have extra time in the day, I don't really worry about it. I haven't been collecting my beta reactors. Usually there's some beta reactors you can grab here. There's some over here. There's some down here in this section. And of course, getting your mine in, you can get over here. On the way, you can pick up your mine in over here. And then like, it was basically just like the free money stuff essentially, right? Like you can get your, the items that, you know, the items that translate into Meseta over here as well, and grab your mine in and grab the mine in here. And of course, like skate down and grab these ores that are over here as well. Stuff that I used to do every single day. And honestly, like I kind of just shied away from it. It's something that I personally skip as far as my daily regiment. What do you guys skip in your daily regiment? What do you find that's not worth it for you? Love to read about it in the comments below. Either way, take care, my friends. Peace out.